repository up there, and nobody's complaining about that.
I think, honestly, moving it, don't get me wrong, you're moving
So it'd be
correctly,
the Anders.
but moving it with traffic is the last.
So what this is gonna
I
be,
think.
Well,
It is. You gotta move
the
it
password that gets you into this
safely.
computer.
And
Oh, that gets me into this computer?
Yeah, so like, it's your
Oh.
Windows password. So whatever you
They're not
log into.
going uphill, they're running it over to the pit, which is all flat. Now they're going all the way up the top of the hill and coming back several trips a day
It's not.
with belly or side dump long trailers.
So it's your email password is what we need, your Microsoft
Okay.
password.
well, then there's many other streets to go other places, right? I mean, if you know the routes that way, you don't take that way to work.
I can reset the password.
And again, you don't like it, what do you do?
Okay.
You can't,
Because what they did,
Oh, yeah.
what we did is we made
that's what is a town.
your email multi-factor as well. So when you sign into email, because a lot of emails were getting hacked,
Yeah.
so
You want to move or not? Move. Here's my thing. Move. There's other communities that. I'm serious. It's just this goddamn town.
We can always send somebody to Bozeman. They can move there.
That's what I mean. There's no other way.
Right now, they're hauling, you can't believe the truckloads of topsoil they're hauling to North Walkerville for topsoil to cover this thing. And they're driving them all the way through town right now. Dozens a day.
Here's a deal. There's.
But I'm just saying, look at they're going from one end of town to the other with that dirt.
I just think that we gotta come to a decision.
Oh,
at some
for,
point and move on for the.
for the BSB one?
Or if not, we just don't do it. Right? I guess. But trucks are made to be on the road.
How many
The
characters
streets
does
are
that
for
need to
trucks,
be?
right? They put them, like, you can go on the highway with them, you can go on the street, I mean, I don't know. It's 'cause I'm fat.
because you get stuck behind the school bus.
I didn't make it to.
Because he gets stuck behind the school bus and eats 2 donuts because it's moving so slow.
Well, this is at 5:30 in the morning.
Oh, the donuts aren't ready yet either.
I'll make it to this. I had to cut out on Tuesday, because Monday night I went to a thing down in Dillon, and I was up to the wee hours. Serious frost, and I couldn't get out. No, we came back. Sober driver. It was perfect.
I'd like to call the Butte-Silver Council of Commissioners regular meeting for Wednesday, March 20th, 2024 to order. Clerk, could we please have roll call?
10 present, 2 absent.
10 present, 2 absent, 2 absent. Please note that Commissioner Fortune and Commissioner Fisher are absent from tonight's meeting. Commissioner Sorge, could you lead us in the prayer and the pledge?
Thank you, Mr. Chief Executive, fellow commissioners. Almighty God, we implore you, look upon us and guide us this night as we make decisions which will greatly affect our community of Butte-Silver. Direct our thoughts, words, and deeds so that we please you and best serve our fellow citizens. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
Next, we'll go to the approval of the minutes for the March 6, 2024 regular meeting. God, I'm just struggling today. Commissioner Frederickson.
Thank you, Chief Executive Gallagher. At this time, I move to approve the minutes from the March 20th, 2024 regular meeting.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes from March 6. Is there anything on the question? Please vote. And would anyone like to change their vote? Clerk, please record the vote.
10 yea, 0 nay.
10 yeas, 0 nay, motion passes. Moving to items not addressed on the agenda tonight, we have one. We have a suspension of the rules. Commissioner Frederickson.
Thank you, Mr. Chief Executive. In accordance with the provisions of Section 6 of Rule 6 of the Rules of Business of the Council of Commissioners of the City and County of Butte-Silver Bow, State of Montana, the council hereby finds that an emergency condition exists which requires that the council rules be suspended to allow communication number 2024-150 to be added to the agenda of the March 20th, 2024 regular meeting of the council. The reason for the suspension is as follows. Communication number 2024-150 is a communication from Angie Mulliken, Public Works Department, requesting authorization for the Chief Executive to sign a notice to proceed to Battle Ridge Builders regarding the rehabilitation of Basin Creek Dam Number 1 project. This communication was not submitted by the deadline for items to be placed on the March 20th, 2024 regular meeting agenda because notification from engineering firm and contractor for the schedule of the project was not submitted until after the deadline. However, in order to be able to start construction on the dam rehabilitation and hereby allow the contractor to begin working on this project on April 1st, 2024, Ms. Mulliken is requesting this communication be added to the agenda of the Council's March 20th, 2024 regular meeting. Based upon the foregoing, and to allow this matter to be acted upon, the Council hereby finds that an emergency exists which requires the suspension of the Council's rules to add communication number 2024-150 to the agenda for the March 20th, 2024 regular meeting. I move to approve the suspension of the rules to consider placing communication number 2024-150 on the agenda at the March 20th, 2024 regular meeting.
Did yours come up as 149? I think that it was numbered incorrectly because 149, so it's been amended, yes. Okay, thank you. Yeah. So we have a motion and a second to the approval of the suspension of the rules. Is there anything on the question? Could Commissioner? And would anyone like to change their vote? Clerk, please record the vote.
10 yea, 0 nay.
10 yea, 0 nay, motion passes. Moving on to the Chief Executive's report. First, I want to say we had a fantastic St. Patrick's Day weekend. The weather was amazing. The crowds were amazing. I think we had, for the size of the crowds, we had very limited problems in the community, and I think a lot of it had to do with the weather was so nice and people didn't crowd into the bars and areas when they're trying to get warm and do whatever. It just, people stayed outside. They were happy. They were excited to be outside. So it was a great event throughout the whole weekend, starting off Friday night, Saturday, Sunday. I see our police officers were probably glad to have the weekend end, but I think comparably to a lot of it, to a lot of other St. Patrick's Day, it was relatively quiet on that front. So thanks to all of our public servants, the police, fire, Public Works. I know when people showed up on Monday morning, uptown Butte, you couldn't tell that there was that 50,000 people uptown. It was clean and looked great, and so I just applaud everybody for all their efforts in what they did over the weekend. We showcased Butte well. So the next thing I'd like to talk about, it's my turn to say thank you, and to two individuals that are going to be leaving us and retiring this year. I'll start off with Danette Gleason, and I know Danette is not here, and so I've talked to her personally, and we'll talk some more, but Danette has been such a fantastic public servant and an amazing finance and budget director for Butte-Silver Bowl over the number of years when she was working in the finance and budget department, and then came back as the finance and budget director. And she's such a resource and will continue to be for us in Butte-Silver Bowl. I couldn't have got where I was at learning about the budgets and you know how everything works, and making sure that we are never in trouble with our finances, make sure that in our audit that we're always responding, that we always keep everything in check. And so I can't thank Danette enough for her mentorship with me and with everybody in Butte-Silver Bowl. So a lot of times I told her that she was answering way too many questions for too many people, that other people needed to be speaking up for the things that they need to do, but she had such knowledge, and we're going to miss her on that knowledge. But I know that we're in good hands as Karen Hassler is going to step in as interim director, and she's been mentored well, and I have all the confidence in the world of Karen as she moves forward into Net's shoes. And then the second one that I get to say goodbye and good night later on tonight here. But Eileen Joyce, 35 years in the county attorney's office, and as our county attorney, you have done an incredible job and going over and being able to ask advice, making sure that decisions that we make, we stay out of trouble, and knowing where we stand anytime that we need to. And incredible knowledge is going to be lost as you walk out the door. And I can't thank you enough for your mentorship for me as well. It's without a county attorney that will work with you every single day, answer questions, it would make my job and everybody else's job up here extremely difficult. So thank you for everything you've done for me. We're going to miss you dearly, but I know you're going to be enjoying your time with your grandkids and moving on to a little bit different job for a while, but thank you for everything. All right, so now we will move on. I'll close the public hearing, and we will move on to section 1, bid openings, public hearings, and or presentations. We have, public comment. God, I got so excited about moving on and being quick. Do we have any public comment on any item on the agenda tonight? Seeing none, now I will move on to section 1, bid openings, public hearings, and or presentations. We have 3 public hearings. County Attorney Joyce, do we have proof of publication?
Mr. Chief Executive, we do have proof of publication for all 3 public hearings, and they all appear to be in order.
Thank you, County Attorney Joyce. Moving on to communication number 2024-125, Karen Malogny, Butte-Silver Bowl Health Officer, requesting Council of Commissioners permission to schedule a public hearing on March 20th, 2024 for unanticipated revenue resulting from receiving a contract with Montana DPHHS for immunization services. Director Malogny.
Thank you, Chief Executive Gallagher, members of council. Tonight I'm asking for permission to amend the 2023-24 year budget for unanticipated revenue we received in the immunization program in the amount of $160,607, and this is to increase our immunization services in Butte-Silver Bowl County.
Thank you, Director Malogny. Is there any questions of commissioners? Seeing none, I'll open the public hearing. First call for proponents. Second call for proponents. Third call for proponents. Seeing none, move on to opponents. First call for opponents. Second call for opponents. Third and final call for opponents. I'll close the public hearing. Moving on to communication number 2024-126, Karen Malogny, Butte-Silver Bowl Health Officer, requesting Council of Commissioners permission to schedule a public hearing on March 20th, 2024 for unanticipated revenue resulting from receiving a contract with NIH/Compass for preventative services. Director Malakny.
Thank you again, Chief Executive Gallagher, members of council. Once again, I'm asking for permission to amend the 2023-24 year budget for receiving unanticipated revenue for our prevention services. This amendment was for $102,850 for prevention services in the community out of the health department.
Thank you, Director Malakny. Are there any questions? Seeing none, I'll open the public hearing. First call for proponents. Second call for proponents. Third and final call for proponents. Seeing none, we'll move to opponents. First call for opponents. Second call for opponents. Third and final call for opponents. We'll close the public hearing. Next, we'll move on to communication number 2024-149. Linda Sager Joyce, Clerk and Recorder, requesting Council of Commissioners permission to schedule a public hearing on March 20th, 2024, so that we can accept an HAVA GIS grant from the Secretary of State's office. This grant is for $4,060. Director Sager Joyce, or I should say, Clerk and Recorder, Linda Sager Joyce. Welcome. You almost got it. There you go.
Good evening. This grant will be used to pay for the survey we had done for the southern border of Walkerville. The amount of the grant is $4,060. We asked for approval for this grant in August, and the state approved our request, so this is just to put the money into this fiscal year's budget.
Thank you, Linda. Is there any questions for Clerk and Recorder Sager Joyce? Seeing none, I'll open the public hearing. First call for proponents. Second call for proponents. Third and final call for proponents. Next, we'll move on to opponents. First call for opponents. Second call for opponents. Third and final call for opponents. We'll close the public hearing. Next, we'll move on to Section 2, Communications, A 1 through 4, and B 1 through 22, with the addition of communication number 2024-150. Are there any friendly amendments and or segregations? Commissioner Thatcher.
I would like to segregate, resolution number 2024-06 out of the Judiciary Committee. And then I just have a quick question on item number 2022, communication number 2024-149. Since we just had that public hearing, do we still hold it in abeyance, or can that be placed on file?
So that would be item number 22, 2024-149. You're asking if we can.
Yeah.
Commissioner Frederickson.
Thank you, Mr. Chief Executive. Thank you, Commissioner Thatcher. Yes, that public hearing was added to the agenda on Monday morning, and so that did not get changed. So nice catch.
Commissioner Thatcher.
So I guess I'll segregate that one to communication number 2024-149.
Okay. Commissioner Frederickson.
Thank you, Mr. Chief Executive. I move to approve Section 2 of the consent agenda, A 1 through 4 and B 1 through 22, with the exceptions of 22, communication number 2024-149, and resolution number 2024-06 out of the Judiciary Committee meeting report.
We have a motion and a second approving tonight's consent agenda. Is there anything on the question? Could commissioners please vote? And would anyone like to change their vote? Clerk, please record the vote.
10 yea, 0 nay.
10 yeas, 0 nay. 0 nay. Motion passes. We'll first move to the item in the Judiciary Committee, Resolution number 2024-06. Do I have a clerk read the caption on this, or clerk, will you please read the caption?
A resolution establishing procedures for the sale and disposition of real property acquired by the city and county of Butte-Silver through tax deed when the real property has been offered for sale but did not receive any bids at 2 tax deed auctions as provided by Chapter 3.20 of the Butte-Silver Municipal Code BSBMC and by Title 7, Chapter 8, Part 32, Montana Code Annotated MCA, and Title 7, Chapter 8, Part 25 MCA, and providing for an effective date herein.
Commissioner Frederickson. Or Commissioner Thatcher, sorry, you're the one who segregated.
That's
My
okay,
fault.
it's a little confusing. So the reason I segregated this was because we wanted to put resolution, we wanted to pass council bill and the resolution for this specific thing at the same time. So I guess it was just that. So now I'd just like to make a motion to place on final reading, having been deemed fully read at length. Second. If that's memorized correctly.
We have a motion and a second to place resolution number 2024-06 on final reading and passed, deemed fully read at length. Is there anything on the question? Could commissioners please vote? And would anyone like to change their vote? Clerk, please record the vote.
10 yea, 0 nay. 0 nay.
10 yea, 0 nay. Motion passes. Moving back to item number 22, communication number 2024-149. Linda Sager Joyce, Clerk and Recorder, requesting Council Commissioners permission to schedule a public hearing on March 20th, 2024, so that we can accept the HAVA GIS grant from the Secretary of State's office. The grant is for $4,060. Commissioner Thatcher.
Thank you, Chief Executive Gallagher. Obviously, I just asked this question, so I'd just like to make a motion to place communication number 2024-149 or concur and place on file.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Concur and place on file communication number 2024-149. Is there anything on the question? Could commissioners please? And would anyone like to change their vote? Clerk, please record the vote.
10 yea, 0 nay.
10 yea, 0 nay. Motion passes. Motion passes. Moving on to Section 6, ordinance and resolutions introduced to judiciary. We have 2 of them, resolution number 2024-09 and resolution number 2024-10. Moving on to Section 4, ordinances and resolutions for final reading. We have first one is Council Bill number 2024-03 and ordinance number 2024-03. Clerk, please read the caption.
An ordinance amending chapters 2.36, 3.12, and 3.28 of the Butte-Silver Municipal Code, BSBMC, entitled Park and Recreation Board, Contract Purchases, and Sale of City and County Property, respectively, specifically amending section 2.36.065, repealing sections 3.12050, and renumbering sections 3.12.060 as 3.12050, and amending sections 3.28.010, 3.28.020, repealing sections 3.28.030, 3.28.040, 3.28050, 3.28.060, 3.28.070, 3.28.080, 3.28.090, and 3.28.100, and renumbering sections renumbering section 3.28.110 as section 3.28.030 and 3.28.120 as section 3.28.040 and renumbering 3.28.130 as 3.28.050 and providing for an effective date herein.
Commissioner Frederickson.
Thank you, Mr. Chief Executive, and thank you, Clerk Melvin. I move to place ordinance number, Council Bill number 2024-03 as amended, ordinance number 2023-03 as amended, on final reading and passed, having been deemed fully read at length.
We have a motion and a second placing Council Bill number 2024-03 as amended and ordinance number 2024-03 on final reading. Is there anything on the question? Commissioners, please vote. And would anyone like to change their vote? Clerk, please record the vote.
10 yea, 0 nay. Yea, 0 nay.
10 yea, 0 nay, motion passes. Moving on to resolution number 2024-07. Clerk, please read the caption.
A resolution authorizing the acceptance of the location and legal description for the southern border of the town of Walkerville, state of Montana, for the purpose of maintaining accurate election registration records and providing for an effective date herein.
Commissioner Frederickson.
Thank you, Mr. Chief Executive. I move to place resolution number 2024-07 on final reading and passed, having been deemed fully read at length.
We have a motion and a second placing resolution number 2024-07. Is there anything on the question? Could commissioners please vote? And would anyone like to change their vote? Clerk, please record the vote.
10 yea, 0 nay.
10 yeas, 0 nay, motion passes. Moving on to item number 3, resolution number 2024-08. Clerk, please read the caption.
A resolution authorizing and approving the transfer of the real property described as Lot 7A of COS 1167B RB located in Section 25, Township 3 North, Range 9 West, Principal Meridian within the City of County of Butte-Silver, Montana to Deville, a corporation, in accordance with the provisions of the Butte-Silver Municipal Code and providing for an effective date herein.
Commissioner Frederickson.
Thank you, Mr. Chief Executive. I move to place resolution number 2024-08 on final reading and passed, having been deemed fully read at length.
We have a motion and a second placing resolution number 2024-08 on final reading. Is there anything on the question? Could commissioners please vote? And would anyone like to change their vote? Clerk, please record the vote.
10 yea, 0 nay.
10 yeas, 0 nay, motion passes. Please note all the meetings.
Chief Executive, I have a question on the emergency suspension of the rules real quick.
Oh, okay.
We still need to make okay.
Okay, so we did not add that onto the consent agenda. So
Well, we need to make a recommendation
Yes, you're right.
on where
Okay.
to go. So with that note, I'll move to concur and place on file communication number 2024-150.
We have a motion and a second placing communication number 2024-150 on final reading.
What's that?
Nice catch. Is there anything on the question? Could commissioners please vote? And would anyone like to change their vote? Clerk, please record the vote.
10 yea, 0 nay.
10 yeas, 0 nay, motion passes. So now we'll say, please look at the meetings that are coming forward in the next month here or the next few weeks. Next, I'll move to any public comment and any item not on the agenda tonight. If you'd like to speak on any item not on the agenda, please come forward, state your name, address, and what you'd like to speak to us about. Seeing none, we may get out of here fairly early tonight. I would take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? We are adjourned.